It's been a season of firsts for the University of St. Francis volleyball team. Like it's the first time the Lady Cougars have been invited to compete in the NAIA National Tournament and will do so this Saturday at 5 p.m. at Aquinas College. For head coach Scott Haddix, who so desperately wanted his team to love to win, well, the Lady Cougs have won 30 times this year, which is a program record. But no, these young ladies hate to lose.
The hate to lose mentality is like so extreme, and I think it's grown over this season with knowing how well that we've been playing and seeing how well we can actually do. So hate to lose is really big.
When we play games, obviously we want to win, and usually in the first set we do pretty well, and then when a team starts coming back and they get a big lead on us, that's when we start to play our best volleyball, because we just don't want to be down anymore and we just want to beat that team.
I wanted us to be a team that loved to win and just dominate teams, but that's not really who we are. We will win. We've won first sets by an average of 10 or 11 points since the 7th of October. It's fantastic. Then sometimes we don't play as well the second set. We make it a match, and that was just frustrating to me. But then I realized shortly after this discovery that this is a team that hates to lose, that's a very powerful tool in our tool belt. And it's the reason you can come back and win a fifth set against IWU, and it's the reason why we can come back and take a lead in the fifth set in the Crossroads League Championship match, even though we couldn't hold on to win. But this team is never going to quit. They're never going to think it's over, no matter how bad things look at some point in time. And that's very important for going into a tournament.
Scott is a really competitive person. He's a really get after it type of person, and I think that helps the people that aren't so aggressive and competitive on our team. That gives them kind of that pump to be competitive and get after it as well.
The getting after it took some time. Coach Haddix has always scheduled some of the best competition in the NAIA, going to tournaments in places like Montana, Missouri, Iowa, Georgia, and Wisconsin. And at the end of outside hitter Cassidy Rammel's sophomore season, the team had an 8-26 record. Nobody was happy with that, but something was starting to grow, and Rammel noticed it in her game.
Playing my freshman year, I was learning a lot, and I got to learn from the seniors and the other upperclassmen ahead of me. And then sophomore year, my game kind of really started to take off.
A year ago, we were sitting in Grandview, Iowa, again playing in a tournament we probably really didn't need to be in, and we literally took a team vote. How many of you want to keep going to tournaments like this, even if we're losing? And most of the hands went up, and they said, yeah, this is what we want to keep doing.
Last year, we were all figuring each other out, and we were all meshing well, and we started playing well together, especially at the end of the season. We had a nice run, and then especially this year too, there's no letdown. If I have a bad night, someone else is having a great night, and we're all very well leveled. I definitely think that helps to our success this year.
I don't feel like there's been a match in all year where we felt nervous or afraid, or like things weren't possible. And I think the Turbo match is a great example of that.
Sitting with a 4-2 record, St. Francis handed then number 4 ranked Viterbo its first home loss since 2012. That win provided a lot of excitement throughout Cougar Nation.
When we first went in, when we play these ranked teams, we were always just told to try our best and stuff, and the outcomes will come. But we didn't really go in there expecting that we were gonna beat them, especially in 4. So to go out there and beat Viterbo, and then that really set the standard for our season and made us play the way we've been playing today.
You go into an opponent's gym, you're playing somebody that's ranked that high, you come up with a game plan, you hope we execute it, and then when you do and it's over, you kind of sit back down and you're like, did that really just happen? And it did, and the team really meshed something that weekend. But as exciting as that win was, I think I'm as equally proud of the very next match. we had 10 minutes to celebrate that win, and then we had to play another team in Our Lady of the Lake, who was either ranked or receiving votes at that moment. And our whole statement was, the win over Viterbo means nothing if you don't back it up with a win over a lesser opponent. And we came out and dominated that match too, and that's when we celebrated, and that's when I knew this team was special.
I think that was like our moment, you know. Scott, like you said, Scott takes us out to all these tournaments out west, and before, you know, our seasons, you know, weren't really going in our favor, but like this year, you know, we were going against Viterbo, kind of like our backs against the wall, and he was just telling us like we have nothing to lose. And I feel like we all, like all aspects of the game, front row, back row, setting, serving, I feel like we all, you know, brought our A game, and that was like our moment where we realized that we could like do this and we could have a good season, and that like it wasn't just Scott telling us, you know, he always says like we're going to these places. It's like it wasn't as if he was just talking about it anymore, like we actually could see what he has been saying. So.
And USF saw it clearly into Crossroads League play. And for the first time ever, the Lady Cougars swept Indiana Wesleyan, the team that beat St. Francis in the conference tournament championship game last year. The last of the 3 wins secured the berth into the national tournament. But it was the first win at IWU that helped to exorcise the demons.
Yeah, we come home after that weekend, and then we play a couple conference matches, and we have to go to Indiana Wesleyan, and I believe we lost the first set. And you're as a coach, and I think even the ball team, we're sitting there maybe between sets, and we're like, man, you know, we believe we're better, we believe we're more experienced, we believe we can win this match, but are we going to? You know, this is a gym where there's so many bad memories, including the conference championship match the year before, and we come back and we win that match, and we do it in, I think, fairly decisive fashion. And then they come to our place, and that's a huge match, and you beat them there. And then all of a sudden you realize we're gonna see each other again in a couple weeks, and then to win that 5-set thriller at home, to clinch a berth in the NAIA National Championship, to eliminate Indiana Wesleyan, Coach Motes, who has a great career. Second time in her 17 years she hasn't made the the Crossroads League tournament championship match. And so yeah, those were fun moments. We're going to cherish those for a long time. We're going to remember those for many years to come.
That's a big goal that we're trying to get this season, and I would say that was probably the best, just because if we would have lost, I would have lost 1 goal short on my senior year. So I was just hoping we could finish that last goal and keep going.
Going into that game, I know I was really nervous, and I know most of the team was really nervous. And so coming out with a victory after that game, and like knowing we had a bid to go to the national tournament, that was really exciting. And then getting to play Marion again obviously was really exciting for us too.
Even though the championship game versus Marion did not go as planned, defensive specialist Nikki Marshall sees some positives.
I mean, for me, and I'm sure for others, I mean, it was a frustrating loss. You know, like I said, we're up 2-0. But I feel as far as like taking it for what it is and like moving forward, you know, obviously we talked about what we did well. We talked about what we did well those first 2 sets, front row and back row, all around communicating. So I feel like that's something, instead of focusing on the loss as a whole, we need to focus on like what we did in the first 2 sets to dominate like we did. I mean, first set was like 25-15 or something like that. So, and taking that as confidence as well.
And the confidence starts with libero Valerie Flick and setter Maria Pilak. In 44 years of Cougar volleyball, no player has been named Crossroads League Player of the Week more times than these 2. Each have 7 conference honors under their belt. They truly are special.
Heart, passion, dedication to their craft. They're both specialty players, not that front row players aren't specialty players, but to dedicate yourself as a libero and to take all the physical abuse that comes with playing that position and to do it so well for this many years, and then to be the setter who's trying to run an offense, and you know, doing that every night in and night out. When a lot of setters in the NAIA get to take half the game off, she's playing all 6 rotations. So high level of execution, but just tremendous heart, passion. You won't find 2 kids that want it more than those 2.
Val is an aggressive teammate. She's gonna go save every ball she can. She's very good at her job. and she does it well. And same with Maria. She works so hard and like is a great setter, and she'll not let a ball hit the floor, and she always betters the ball, which is good as a hitter because you want a good setter setting you the ball.
PLAC ranks number 2 in the country in total assists with 1,413 this season.
Oh, I love PLAC. She's so good, and she's so like positive, and she's so energetic, and she isn't just a good setter, she's a great defender too. A lot of times in the lineups when you see stats, she's right there with us in digs or even more, and serving, she brings that part of the game as well. She's really an all-round player, and she really brings, that spark to our team that we need, and she definitely is a perfectionist in those sense, I think. I think she's always trying to do what she can for our hitters, always talking to them, what do you need to set higher, need to set lower. Like she's just like, I feel like an ideal setter and just an ideal player to have out in the court, and I think she's like really great.
And Marshall helps to make up a very impressive back row with Flick by her side. Both are from the volleyball hotbed of Muncie, Indiana.
Living in Muncie, you either did like one of two things. You either played volleyball or you played basketball, so definitely not a basketball person, so volleyball was my thing, and my older sister playing was definitely, kind of like the start and the leadership of that. But the environment that is created that you're around when you play in Muncie, and that's high school and club as well, is just something that's I've noticed is very different and very intense, but I love it, and I think that's also an aspect that I bring to this team is my intensity. I think it's good, but yeah, I think it's just kind of like a different atmosphere and environment to just play in and like live around and compete in. So as far as like when I'm back row of Val, it's weird. Sometimes it's just like a look, or it's like we can just look at each other, and that's kind of like our thing. So it kind of flows really well. I think it also helps, coming from the same place of volleyball, the way we run our back row and our defense. That's helpful, the way that we pass balls, the way that we move and rotate and things like that. So that's helpful. As far as the way we communicate, I think we communicate kind of similarly with our front row as well. We've had the same starting lineup since the beginning of the season, so it's been able to click and mesh and build and grow and expand new things since the beginning. So I think that's a really good, helpful aspect of it too.
That communication has led to dominating defensive play at the net. Middle hitters Megan D'Agostino and Kendra Seifring are flat out getting it done. And the Cougars rank number 8 in the NAIA with 300 total blocks.
Kendra and I have been ranked in like number of blocks overall like the whole season. And so we've been like trying to compete with each other to see who can get more blocks in a game and like move up in the ranking. And so every game like we work hard to do that, and then like it helps out the team obviously because we want the most blocks possible. And so I don't know, we just have a fun competition between us to see who can do better during the game, but at the end of the day we're really happy for each other, and we've both done well all season, so that's just to help out the team. It's definitely challenging, and there are times we don't get there, and then I hear it from the back players in the court, like Nikki especially likes to yell at me whenever I don't get there in time to close the block. But I just have to follow the ball and watch my hitter and jump when I see the ball coming over, make sure to press and turn into the court. But without my pin blockers there to set the block, and they tell me really when to time it and jump, so that's really helpful. So they're the reason for a lot of our blocks for sure.
So now the Lady Cougars have checked the boxes on their volleyball bucket list, and the NAIA opening round is up next for the Cougs who hate to lose. So it's time to love that win, as it's do or die this Saturday in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I think we still have a goal of making it out of pool play, but definitely like we've made it here. Let's work hard and have fun, and that's kind of our focus for the whole season, is just work hard and have fun, and it'll take care of itself from there.
This week of practice is going to be extremely important as far as focusing, working on the little things that we need to, really expand on to do great on Saturday. We don't know a lot about them. We play a lot of obviously conference games and then our tournament games that we travel to, so we've never played them. We don't know their style of play, but I think that's good. Sometimes a lot of people on our team, and myself included, sometimes when we play teams we know in our conference, we get freaked out. It's like it's hard to beat a team so many times, or it's hard to see people again. So playing someone new, seeing some new faces, a new style might honestly be good for us to expand and do what we do well. So I think it's good, but communicating during the game and being able to bounce back is going to be our biggest thing in situations, which I think we've been doing really well this season.
We've always had the goals of like working hard, focusing, having fun, and loving our teammates throughout the year. And if we do all those things and work really hard in practice and focus, then we'll be fine. And if we're playing well, then there's no team that's going to be able to beat us.
This is the most balanced team we've ever had at the University of St. Francis. Every day you look on the stat sheet, we've got kids in 10, 12, 14 kills apiece. So it's a special group because they understand what their role is and they like playing their role. And really no one gets promoted or elevated above another, which is another thing I think is going to make us really tough to beat come Saturday and then out in Iowa.